Broadcasting live from the Sulphurous Springs and just downstream from the skeleton of our little imp friend who stayed in too long on the plane of Dominaria. It's Tap Tap Concede. Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Tap Tap Concede. We have some fun guests for you here today, and I am very happy to introduce Alan, who's a streamer. He's the host of Mental Misplay, and he's a competitive CEDH aficionado.
Sure. Yeah. I play CEDH for sure.
Excellent. Well, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm psyched to be here.
Yeah. We have Voxy, who's a Twitch streamer and Magic personality, and also who's here in person rather than on my computer. It's very weird. Welcome to the show.
I'll take it. Sup, nerds?
And we have Jorbs, who's a Twitch streamer, strategy gamer, connoisseur, and has the driest humor on this side of the studio.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Which is a lot.
Yeah.
James is over there.
Oh, it's we're all parched over here, but not in a thirsty way, just in a... Moving on to my next comments. Everybody is in town here for the pre-release, so we thought, let's keep making content and have a fun special episode of Tap Tap Concede, which, as always, is brought to you by the fine people at cardkingdom.com. Card Kingdom is a constitutional monarchy of cards, and until they send me a cease and desist, that is how I will describe them. And the fine people at our Patreon. Thank you for supporting us at Patreon. I get paid to do this, so thank you. And also James, who's running the board, gets paid, and we pay for the electricity, and it's actually very important, and we appreciate it a lot. And that's about it. Find this where fine podcasts are served. I was really close to getting through that. Anyhow, it's time for some casual chat. So my first pre-prepared question is, the first time you played Magic, what hooked you? What was the thing that brought you into the game? And you're like, oh, actually, I like this.
I mean, it's just like the sick monsters, like, for sure. Like, seeing, like, I came up playing, like, Revised on the Schoolyard Blacktop, the whole thing.
Oh.
And so seeing, like, Lord of the Pit and, you know, your, like, demonic hordes, all that, just, like, cool, spooky monsters really did it. Yeah, it's easy enough. Like, a lot of like the spooky badass art for sure.
So how many now valuable and or powerful cards did you absolutely ratch by like twisting unsleeved into Schoolyard Pavement?
I've got a couple of those like from exactly that, like your demonic hordes, Lord of the Pit, Breeding Pit, that sort of stuff, that are all just like Eben Prater, one of my favorites, just absolutely cut to pieces from that, and I've still got a couple of them floating around.
Oh, excellent. Noted in the binder. Condition, heavily played.
Yeah, for sure.
Well loved. Voxy, what hooked you? What were you like? When you were like, oh no, there's no going back.
There's no going back. Honestly, the thing that I think that got me like fully hooked on Magic is my partner at the time taught me how to play, and he really liked it, and I wanted to like be in his world of like the things that he liked, and I always liked playing video games and everything, but never really a trading card game. I never experienced it. And then like I really liked we played a lot of Limited, so I really liked opening up all of like the packs and like seeing what comes out of that. It's like, I don't know, it's just something about a grab bag just gets me. So I stayed in it because I started it because he liked it, and then I stayed in it because I liked it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you got rid of the partner, but you kept the good stuff.
Sure did.
So I tossed him with the draft chaff. Just out of here.
We've all had a few draft chaff partners in our
You
time.
have to get through a few draft traps to get to a limited bomb.
Yeah,
Okay,
there you go.
That's just how it
That's
goes.
the rules.
Yeah.
Heartwarming. Unless you're the draft chaff. But
Left on the LGS table, swept into the garbage.
yeah, but someone's draft chaff is somebody else's like perfect combo piece completion.
Yeah. Sleeper card, all of the above. Yeah.
Yeah.
Belongs.
Absolutely. So, Jorbs, you play a lot of video games, and you play a lot of different games, but from our brief discussions earlier, you were talking about, like, you know, going to pro tours back in the day, so I'm very curious how you got your start with Magic.
I never competed in a pro tour. I visited some. I had friends who were playing my decks. Excuse me.
I'll hair flip for you.
I moved to the States when I was 12, which was in 1999. And my first friend at middle school invited me to go to a mall called Crossroads. And they had a Wizards of the Coast store there. I think Wizards used to have stores and they had like 8 total ever, and they're all shut down now. But at the time it was open, and we played a draft, and I got annihilated. I still remember the guy's deck. It was Blue-White Flyers, which is just broken and always has been and always will be. And I loved it. And it was so cool to like be hanging out with like a person who seemed to care about me and want to be my friend. Yeah, I was his best man at his wedding, and you know, like it's been good. And also, he introduced me to Magic, and that's been a great thing for me in my life too.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wow, I have no randomly rude, pithy comments to say about that true story of beautiful friendship. So you've sort of had a lifelong. I got into Magic like fairly late. I went to a PAX once, and way back in the day at PAX's, this is like after we were doing Loading Ready Run for a while, they would put like starter decks of like Magic the Gathering cards just like in the PAX swag bags. And so we were like waiting for something, and all of us just were like, I don't know, let's play with these. And I've always like strategy kind of like smart games, but like I'd never played a trading card game or anything like that before I'd like started in it. I was like, oh wow, this is exactly my jam. and like you, I was like, wow, these black cards really speak to me for some reason. They really, I just wow, I just get to destroy your creature. That speaks to me in some way. So I was hooked, and I never looked back.
Did anybody in your group like play at all?
No.
Or you guys just like picked up the cards and were just like looking at them?
Well, some of us had played before. I found out like after this had happened that like Cameron like was like, oh no, I'm getting back into it. I'm like, and he was like, oh yes, I've got the war stories and stuff like that. And like James and Graham had played a bit as like kids, very like schoolyard, I'm 12 years old, I'm in middle school kind of thing. But I was like in my 20s.
And thinking about it more as far as like the kid aspect of it, like there's also like, I was probably like 10. So thinking like about like I just wanted more, like the collectability aspect of it was also like a huge thing. It's just like I want more, like, that's how my brain works, is like I'm always thinking of like whatever the next thing is or whatever's next. So I always just wanted the stuff that I didn't have. So it was just like gotta have more and more and more.
I remember
for sure.
I remember being so excited when I traded an Exalted Angel and Decree of Justice for a foil Day of Dragons.
Nice.
I was so happy.
This is still a heartwarming memory for you. Like your whole body language just like lit up with joy.
Yeah.
Aww.
The way that the other guy smiled made me think maybe I did something wrong. But
I don't know. You're happy.
I was happy.
Yeah, that's the only thing that matters in life. Well, that and not getting ripped off by a 13-year-old, I suppose. But
it happens. It happens.
They get you.
Yeah.
I hope he enjoyed those cards.
When I first started playing Magic, I'd go to the LGS and be trading and stuff like that. And I'd never know. I was like, I don't know what is going on here. I am going to assume this works out in my favor, or at least is equal, because I don't know. I want it, therefore it's good. That's my experience with trading, basically.
I have so many of the just like I traded away like X, and I'm just like I do not see, like I don't like I went, I came up, like I said, doing the schoolyard stuff, and then like went through playing Type 2, and so like I had a play set of all sorts of crazy stuff. And when I got back into Magic, like it was like a nice easy 16-year hiatus, right? And so when I got back into it, I had a bunch of stuff that I traded away, and it's worth more now than it was when I got back into it in 2015. And I like wasn't fully cognizant of like the significance of the reserve list. So yeah, I'm a sad boy when it comes to that stuff, for sure.
I think that segues us nicely into our next topic, which is like, what's a funny, goofy, maybe sort of bad beats, but kind of fun kind of way, Magic the Gathering story. So I feel like I should volunteer to go first, so we're not putting people on the spot. But I can never remember a time where I've been Oh no, wait! I remember a time when I've been truly crushed. It is one of the most famous, and it was caught on camera. Do you remember during the very first... James is already laughing. Do you remember during the very first PPR, James, where you're like, you should attack this guy? You should attack Graham.
I do remember this.
Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? Is he going to hit you back for 16 damage?
I mean, it seemed improbable at the time.
Did Graham then hit me back for exactly 16 damage and donk me out of the tournament?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he sure did. That was awkward.
After that, we made a rule that table friends weren't allowed to give play advice.
And I wasn't invited back to the PPR, so,
That's a self-imposed exile. So, I don't know. Anybody else get dumpstered by their husband on stream because their friend told them to do it?
Part of my whole stream is inviting people on who dumpster me all day. Like that's just the vibe. Is if I can get somebody out there who can just rock the whole pod with a turn 1 win, it's a success for sure. So there's a couple people who I'll invite out knowing that it's just going to be an uphill battle. Every game is going to be like, you got to be ready to just wheel them instantly or whatever it is to stop from getting dumpstered. Exactly that.
What's the most degenerate turn 1 combo?
Oh man, just turn 1 wheels are always funny. Like a turn 1, like people mulligan really hard for a reason, and a turn 1 wheel will always just have the whole table tilted. Or some people mull to 4 and they're like, oh cool, like I'm psyched about this turn 1 wheel. Mulling to 4 is like regular activity at our table for sure. It's so I'm learning more and more the significance of mulling aggressively
till you hit something that allows you to get the other pieces online. So what I'm hearing is at some tables a mull to 4 is oh, he's on 4. That's a powerful start.
I mean, it's just really desperately going after something explosive or settling. Sometimes it's settling. Sometimes it's okay, I've got the land crypt wheel that I need or whatever it is. I have a buddy, Madanon, who recently was very, very loud about mulling to 1 and taking the game. So I've seen it. You never know what's gonna happen. These games are totally absurd.
I would write that into a script because it would be improbable. That's amazing.
Yeah, it was and I think it's because he got wheeled shortly after the game started. But still, it was really, really crazy. So, and yeah, I've got another friend who's runs a Rograk Silas deck that revolves around. I think the deck runs 22 lands, and they're just absolutely vicious about ramping out as fast as possible, and it goes into Snoop lines or Bola Citadel lines and stuff like that. But they come on the show and dumpster the table constantly. That's Bunny, and they're an absolute menace. So yeah, those are the type of wins that I see a lot. The super degenerate turn 1 stuff.
Writes down absolute menace.
Yep.
Voxy, have you ever dumpstered or been the dumpsteree? I mean, obviously, but
I have been the one doing the dumping.
Excellent.
That's the way you want to word it. I think my most memorable instance of that would be I did a lot of pre-releases because I only really played limited. I only really played limited. And I remember I was 3-0 in my pre-release, Shadows over Innistrad. And my final opponent, because you had to play 4 people, I asked them, or they asked me, they're like, hey, do you want to split? I'd like to go and eat. And I was like, well, if I'm honest with you, I'm kind of new and I'm doing really well. I've not really done this, whatever, before. And they looked me up and down and they said, I'll go 4-0. To my face! To my face! And I was like... And I sat down and I absolutely crushed them. And it was the greatest. I had 2 Westvale Abbeys.
Nice.
I had millions of token making things. And it was the most satisfying thing that I've ever done in all of my time of playing Magic.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was so great. And they try to, of course, be like, I said something afterwards, like, like, that's why you probably shouldn't say those types of things. Like, well, I didn't mean it like that. I just was saying, like, I would like to go 4-0 so I could, like, go and, like, get. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
sure.
Yeah, I didn't mean it like that if I was going to look stupid.
Yeah, of course not. No, I didn't mean that. No. Like, so that's probably my highlight of, it was, like, when I was kind of newer, too, into, like, playing, so. It's the first time I ever 4-0'd.
Wow, that didn't even happen to me. That's one of my highlights of Magic the Gathering.
It was very satisfying.
Oh my God, incredible. Jorbs, top that.
My favorite dumpstering story. So a long time ago, I played a deck called Howling Mine. And the idea was you used Howling Mine to make your opponent draw lots of cards, and you used Boomerang and Eye of Nowhere type effects to bounce their lands back to their hand. And it worked great against Control, because Control decks like just play one land a turn, in this format at least. So you just Boomerang everything, and then they start discarding their cards, and you can win whatever way you want. But it doesn't work against aggro, because they like play a 1-drop and a 2-drop, and then they attack you and you die.
They're excited. They're like, oh, more cards, please.
Yeah, it didn't work. So I figure, like, it's a blue deck, but Nourishing Shoal has an alternate casting cost where you can just pitch a green card to it to cast it for whatever the converted mana cost of the green card is. So even though Nourishing Shoal is a green card, I can put it in my blue deck. And I looked up what the most expensive green card was in the format, and it was Autochthon Worm. And so I played 4 Autochthon Worm, 4 Nourishing Shoal main deck in this deck. And I got paired against Mike Long on Magic Online. And Mike Long, if you don't know, he's more infamous than famous, I would say, as a historic Magic the Gathering player. And he's playing the red-green aggro deck that has been terrorizing me. I'd been losing every game to it. But it was very good at dealing 20 damage and not very good at dealing 50 damage. And on turn 2 of game 1, I pitched Autochthon Worm to Nourishing Shoal and twin cast it to gain 30 life while he was attacking me for 4. And he just disconnected from the match. Just conceded match. And I got to talk to him like 2 years later. We played again, and I just was chatting with him. Like, we were just shooting the shit about life. And I talked to him for like an hour or so, and then at the end of the conversation, I was like, Do you remember when I pitched the Autochthon Worm against you? And that was the end of the combo.
Wow. I don't have a follow-up for that. I'm just like, my mind is reeling with like, I don't actually like, with like potential like follow-ups you could do if you ever ran into him again.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's always on the radar.
It's always on the radar. Do you carry a like
A Autochthon Worm in my pocket?
Yeah.
Yeah, in my shoe actually.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right.
So ask him to sign it.
Oh.
Wow.
He might just like
That'd be
disconnect
cool.
in real life.
Yeah.
His eyes might glaze over and he might not come back for like 4 or 5 minutes. You might need to get him a chair. Good grief. That conversational topic turned out a lot better than I thought it would. I don't have a clean segue. Actually, I have a bad joke though, which is a clean segue to my next segment. How do you know if somebody likes King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard? Don't worry, they'll tell you. This next question is about favorite bands. So, I don't know. One of my favorite bands, not my favorite band of all time, but one of my favorite bands is a band called King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. And they are extremely prolific. So if you like a band that puts out at least 3 albums in a year, good job. But they make sort of like psychedelic rock music, with varying degrees of like, sometimes the albums have like guitars that sound like Metallica, and sometimes the albums have flutes. So
It just depends on what they're feeling that day. Yeah.
You have to respect that
absolutely, yes.
from musicians.
Yeah.
Let it flow.
Yeah, that's the music they want to make, and they make enough of it that if you don't like an album, that's fine. Come back in 2 more and see if you like that one better.
Yeah, which is like, I feel like stream viewers could benefit from that mindset. Do you think they have a lot of fans who are like, when are you gonna play flute again.
Where is the flute?
Yeah. I mean, based on my limited interactions on like the subreddit to like find out about when concert tickets are going to go on sale and stuff like that, it's mostly fans who are like, man, I wish you'd make another heavy metal album. And it's like, they've already made 2, right? I'm the one saying that, when's the flute coming back?
Mm-hmm.
But I've been rewarded. Jorbs, do you have like a favorite band or maybe like a kind of music you like to listen to when streaming?
I mean, all the music's so good. I think my favorite band experience was in college. One day I got a text message from a guy I'd met on a plane. This is a true story. And he was like, come to Magnuson Park right now. And I was like in a class. So I was like, I'm in a class. And he was like, no. Come now. So I walked from UW to Magnuson Park, which is not a short walk really. And when I got there, the Blakes, local indie rock group, they were shooting a music video, and they had just collected as many Seattle area musicians as they could. And the scene in the music video is there's like a character who's basically the devil, and he's basically deciding if people get their record published or not.
Oh.
And all of the different Seattle area musicians are like in a line, like smoking and looking cool. Someone got a tattoo on set under a slow-mo camera.
Wow.
And I just got to hang out. And so I really like the Blake's music still. I have no idea if it's good or not. It's like too strongly nostalgic for me to be an unbiased judge, you know?
You know
I
what?
think it's okay.
If you still like it, then it's good.
Yeah, it's probably good.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, though, the only person who has to listen to the music that you like is you. Like, you're...
Well, I play it on stream.
And your viewers.
Yeah.
But as long as you like it, then it's going to make you in a good mood and make you happy. I'm like the anti-music snob because I grew up in like a small town. And it's like, you know, you want to get into music and, you know, you literally, I've had the question, we'll name one of their other albums. And so I was like, okay, I'll throttle you, but only in my mind.
Oh, that's not the name of the album?
No.
Oh, okay.
It was about Ween albums. Like if there's one band that's not going to give a crap whether or not you're a hardcore fan, I feel it's Ween, right? They'd probably just be happy someone was listening to them. I do like Ween. Kathleen's getting unusually defensive. Time to move on. Foxy, what music makes your heart sing?
Honestly, I like mashups. I've been listening to like a lot of mashups lately. I liked we would do Sub Song Request Sunday on stream before the great DMCA strike of 2020, where I lost all of my clips and got a copyright strike for some reason. It was really cool. They said, hey, in this clip from a year ago, you played this song and you got a strike from it. And then you click on the link and they've already deleted the clip. So they just tell you that you just have to take their word for it that I guess I got a copyright strike. So that was really fun. But I like mashups, I think. Like Paramore, Fall Out Boy, Post Malone, like mashups all together, like older songs too.
Have you ever heard like the Best of Booty albums? Oh, they're like collections of DJ mashups. There's like a Best of Booty that comes out every year, and they're always bananas.
I'm gonna have to listen to it.
Graham is the true mashup connoisseur in our household, but
Okay.
he could give you some of the choice cuts from 2022 for sure.
I would love a list of choice mashup cuts.
Excellent.
I'm listening to like the same 4 for like. I don't really experiment a lot with the music.
You should check out Slamba Yetu.
Slamba Yetu?
It's Baba Yetu. Familiar? Baba Yetu. Civilization 4 main menu music. I think
Oh.
won awards and stuff.
Okay.
But then they added the Space Jam to it, which is what it was missing.
Everything is missing Space Jam.
Yeah, you realize
Yeah.
that once you listen to the mashup.
Yeah,
Like
that makes
it's-
a lot of sense,
yeah.
honestly.
It's the Lord's Prayer in Swahili, Baba Yetu, which is like very beautiful. And Space Jam, I believe, is the Lord's Prayer in basketball.
I didn't know you were so into devotional music.
This is like a place we can attend to like
It's some sort of experience.
doing this. Okay.
We find beauty everywhere. Alan, what kind of music do you like?
It's so all over the place. There is a mashup album on my like heavy rotation though. The Biggie Smalls Frank Sinatra album is absolutely and it's like, of course, very like New York, like it's New York like boiled down to its essentials. So like that album is like a like maudlin walking around the city kind of music for me, but otherwise, like, it really is all over the place. I love Busta Rhymes so much, like, so much. And then otherwise, the, like, genre or, like, music, albums, whatever, that gets, like, heavy rotation from me is the old, like, Suede Head, Trojan Records, like, roots reggae stuff. So your Northern Soul type of, yeah, like, old roots reggae, Rocksteady, the like Skinhead, Suede, all that sort of stuff is like so foundational for me, and I love hearing that stuff. Anything with like the Farfisa organ, all that, it's just that sound is so good. I absolutely love it. So
I'm gonna go hunt that down. I'm also like a connoisseur of a wide variety of music. I'll try anything once, and most music's pretty good. It's definitely better than what I could make, so I don't feel like I should be in a position to judge it too harshly. There's
some really good documentaries about the rise of that sound. Ooh. And it's called Sound System, I think is the name of one of the documentaries, and it like talks about the rise of people playing it from a sound system out of their garage and like going through the dance hall days, and then how it then migrated to England and became like a second wave sound and broke into your bands like the Specials and all that sort of stuff, kind of were like the next generational iteration of it. But there's like Trojan Records, like any of the Trojan Records comps are just like incredible. And it's all a very like each one of the comps will have like a slightly different sound, whether it's like ska, rocksteady, whatever, but it all has a very similar kind of bend to it. I'll put that on in the background and just vibe to it at all times. Like I love it.
Right. So if you're a fan of like ska or like punk music or something like that, or like, you know, new wave, this is stuff that you want to check out.
Yeah, for sure. This is like, it's all very foundational to that like specific sound, for sure.
Man, I love when you discover the thing that influenced the thing that influenced the thing. I was reading Wikipedia while streaming because that's the kind of streaming experience that I like to serve up to my viewers.
Sure, no, that's good stuff.
And I was reading about Sirens of Titan by Kurt Vonnegut.
Sure.
And I had not read that book. And then I was reading the plot description. And because I am a bold person and I like to live dangerously, I went, I would bet money that Douglas Adams read this before he wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And then I kept scrolling down the Wikipedia page. And I was right. They had like a little section where Douglas Adams talked about his influence. And I didn't know any of that. But I looked really smart and I was really happy.
And it was live and it was caught live.
Yeah, well, because I don't keep clips of my stream or record any of my VODs because of that DCMA takedown music listening thing.
Yep.
So that's why I can retell the story, and it's not egotistical. It's just so other people can know. But yeah, I love it when you're like, oh, the thing that influenced the thing, the original thing.
But it's also hard to talk about that and not be like elitist about it as well. Be like, oh, well, you must, you have to listen to this. If you're into this genre, then you have to listen to their first album or whatever. Like it's hard to not kind of come off that way when talking about that sort of thing. So I usually tend to not be like, oh, well, did you know it well, it's a well actually moment.
I'm always like, if you like this, you should check out this. You'd probably like it too. Yeah. That's as firm as I'll get on it, right? Because I don't want to. What if they don't like it? Then they might be mad at me. If you could recommend one album by the Blakes.
I don't know any of their album names.
What's the best song?
Ramshackle Hearse is the name of the song that they were recording the music video for.
So if we go and pull up the music video, would a young Jorbs be in the background?
No, absolutely not. And I mean, it's a very well-made video.
Ooh.
Of what happened was a Seattle area photographer and general media guy really liked their music and reached out to them and just said, hey, I have an idea for a music video. Can I film this with you? And so he really Like for a small band at the time, they have an incredible music video for that song.
If you're curious, it was off the 2009 album Souvenir
Thank you.
from the Blakes.
Thank you.
There's your musical recommendations on Tap Tap Concede. All right, these I just prepared a list of unrelated, ridiculous questions. So my last one is I teased it on the last time I hosted a podcast as a controversial 4 spicy pepper level question. I want your most controversial, hottest food take. So I have a controversial food take that I will prime the pump with. I'm staying at a friend's house right now for various reasons. And he's making ice cream and he's like, taste the creme anglaise. And so then I'm like, well, hold on, I can't do this because you have a silicone spatula. I need to go get a metal spoon to taste it. I can't lick it off the spatula.
Ooh.
And he went, and I said, because I can taste the spatula.
Mm.
So like, and then he went, what? And I went, interesting, that I was expecting my friend who could cook I was expecting immediate agreement that I was not
Sure.
a Fruit Loop. And then so I was like, you don't, like, if you take a clean spatula, it tastes like something. It has a flavor to it. And he's like, what are you talking about? And so I was like, it tastes like, so I like literally took one of his spatulas and stuck it in my mouth like a lollipop. And it tastes like it's like a little bit bitter and it tastes a little bit chemically. It's not like a food taste. It's like artificial, right?
I know the taste.
Okay, thank you.
No, it's real.
Oh, thank God. Because I like after this happened, I phoned my husband Graham. I was like, Graham, I need you to lick a spatula. And he was like, I love you and I support you. What am I doing? And he was like, no, I don't taste anything, Kathleen. And I was like, oh no.
This has been a struggle for me this summer because I decided that liquid ice was watering down my beverages and I wasn't going to stand for it anymore.
Oh.
So I got ice cubes that are like plastic and have water inside them, and you freeze them and then put the plastic cube in your drink.
Right.
And when it unfreezes, the water doesn't water down your drink.
Right.
But now my drinks
Tastes like plastic.
So
Oh, thank God.
so I need like stainless steel ones or something, but what does steel taste like? Is that bad too? I don't know.
I mean, I can't lick off my finger. I can't lick off a wooden spoon. I have to use a metal spoon if I'm tasting food. I'm very particular. I do a lot of cooking though. But why not just take the drink that you're making and you want ice in it? Why not just freeze that? Like if you want iced tea, just freeze some tea.
Freeze the drink. I think there's something cultural about serving a drink with ice in it, though.
Right.
A little bit.
That's true. And then what if people like want that watery drink?
Oh, true.
Like some people don't like flavor.
Also,
Who are those people? So
cooling
I
the drink down before I drink it requires me to plan ahead more than 2 minutes.
Right.
Which is...
Yeah, this requires that you're going to know you're going to want to have iced tea, for example, at least
Right.
4 hours in advance.
Maybe at a different time in my life, I would have been able to do that. Or will be able to do it. Maybe. But currently, no.
I think the plastic, they make like the stone ones, right, for like whiskey and stuff like that, right? So
That's
I don't know
probably
if
what I
that's
need.
specific to whiskey and all that. Like that's not an area that I'm super familiar with. But I know with the plastic stuff, like unless you're getting plastic that's I don't know if this is something that gets made, but like when you freeze plastic, it changes the structure of it and will break down.
Yeah.
So like that's probably what's happening.
I wonder
like,
about the health of it as well.
Yeah,
for
people
sure.
talk about like microplastics and all.
Yep.
I sold filtered water coolers for a long time,
All right.
and so like I got like indoctrinated into why plastics are bad and plastic bottles are bad and the big jugs are bad, and it's a big part of it is because they freeze and get unfrozen so much that it breaks them down. So that's to me an easy parallel to the plastic ice cubes.
Imagine coming over to my house and I like serve you a drink and it's like these are the stones of Ireland. The Gladsbury Scotch distillery uses these and you're like having a Dr. Pepper.
Yeah.
out of like a minion mug. Babe, get out the fine china. We have guests coming over. Get the ice cubes.
I went the opposite way recently. So you're talking about like no ice, no melting. We got this ice cube tray that's like, it's a tray and it's got like a container under it, but the ice cubes are small. So, and we like those because you just crack it into the tray and you could take a handful and put it in a drink. But the real joy of it is it freezes faster.
Sure.
So you don't have to wait as long when you fill it up to have like more ice.
Instant gratification.
Yeah, so it's a much faster process, which I've been really excited.
My last freezer just had the machine.
Yep.
At any moment. Well, at any moment, I could hear a machine go in my apartment, but then also I would have ice whenever I wanted. My new freezer does not. It's been I think that was the,
Did the machine have
that was
crushed
the
ice?
thing that influenced the thing that influenced the thing for me. That's where it all started.
Did it have the crushed ice
No.
option as well?
No.
I love those because like crushed ice, like the idea that it's all smashed up is so great. But you put your cup under it and it just shoots it all over the room every time.
I mean, like I like the idea of crushed ice, but in my head, it's always just a happy goblin with a huge hammer in there.
Oh, yep.
Because like realistically, that's how I break ice. Is I just have to like wallop it with a rolling pin or something like that, and it's just like how. Surely this is not well engineered enough that it's not going to immediately break with the force required to crush ice. I give this freezer like 3 years unless there's some sort of goblin inside it that's just like actually getting some job satisfaction from the ice crushing.
I imagine it's just a small version of the industrial mobile shredder videos where they're like throwing anything into the shredder. I love those videos. They're very similar to the
hydraulic press
hydraulic
videos?
press. It's the same genre, right?
Yep.
But the shredder ones are great because they'll throw
Yep.
anything in there and it gets torn to pieces.
I find the shredder runs more like frightening.
Yeah, they're visceral
somehow.
for sure. They're very scary.
Even though the
They're
hydraulic
satisfying.
press, like, stuff will explode out the sides. Like, there's a lot to that too.
Curly ribbons.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
Like-
always fun.
A little liquid that comes out. I'm like, ooh.
I feel like it's probably a lot easier to avoid the hydraulic press, right? You just
Yeah.
don't go near it.
Yeah.
But like the mobile shredder, you could fall in the mobile shredder at any time.
I feel that in my day-to-day life. Like,
Yeah, you never know
I
when
am
you
not
fucking fall into the
currently concerned
shredder.
about a hydraulic press. It would be very slow.
Yeah,
It could
you
squish
just
me a
move
little
your
bit and I
hand,
just
yeah.
get out of the way.
Yeah, all right, we're done.
But a shredder, like,
You're gone.
No.
It doesn't let go.
Yeah.
Things don't come back out of the shredder.
no, absolutely not.
Yeah, but if the shredder's fast. Anyhow, Voxy. Moving on. Give me your spicy, I can taste plastic level opinion about any food you want.
I think that people need to calm down at restaurants when it comes to the burgers they serve. Why is it so tall? How am I supposed to eat it? Why are there so many things inside? It's like bun, and then like the patty is like twice as big. There's like 3 things of onions and lettuce, and like if you have to stick a little stick through it to keep it together, it's too big. How am I supposed to eat that? So just bring back like basics, I guess.
Don't hide your burger behind a sheen of fried egg and guacamole pineapple slaw. Serve me a high quality burger that's tasty on its own merits.
Yeah, that just needs some ketchup or something. I don't know. Something easy.
Yeah, but then the chef that's had ideas about like molecular gastronomy can't have some fun.
He can judge me, he can tweet about me. I don't care what he does, but I just need to be able to like eat the burger in one bite and not have to like separate it. Is it? Other than that, also I think that cheese pizza is best, and pizza's just best with nothing on it but cheese.
And that's crazy. That's wild to me because it's no sauce. Is that like no
White
tomato
sauce.
sauce? White sauce. So like
Oh.
a white sauce, like a kind of garlicky cream kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like all right, yeah, like a white pie. And is that like a white pie with like also the ricotta on it, or is we're just doing
cheese.
straight mozzarella
Yep.
on there?
Just whatever the basic
Is it
cheese.
mozzarella or is it like American cheese? Be honest.
Just slices of
Be honest.
Yellow squares on
Don't
it.
don't lie to me. I won't judge you.
Never.
Yellow and white American cheese.
Just basic, no meat, no nothing. Cheese is just the best. That's all you need.
What do you think about burger sideboarding? So you take the concept of the huge burger,
Burger.
but you make it a best of 3, and after like game 1, you can trade some stuff in. you know? Like
I think that is
small
a good
burger, bit of
alternative
pineapple.
to the big stack. Instead
Yeah.
of big stack, just put it on the side and I can sideboard in what I want.
Yeah.
Serve
That's
you
good.
3 sliders instead of 1 burger.
Yeah.
More bread then.
It's like a fajita, but with a burger, right?
Well, that's what we do,
Yeah.
don't we? You have 3 tacos.
Yeah.
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 Why not 3 burgers?
Well, yeah, then it's just slider territory. And I know sliders are. I've talked to people who have like a visceral aversion to sliders because of the name of them.
Not a fan of John Rhys Davies dramas from the 90s.
I enjoyed that show.
They're just ew, gross sliders. Like I don't
I
know.
remember the special effects being strangely good at the time, I thought.
do
But
you,
maybe I was a poor judge.
I was a kid, so I
so
wasn't
was I.
sophisticated. But do you remember the episode of Sliders where they everything seems perfect, and then they get to they think they're finally home, and then they notice they get honked at because they're stopped at a red light, and that everything's the same except that you drive on a red and stop on a green in this universe, and they're
Yeah.
like, we have to keep sliding, and I was
Yeah.
like, really, I would have quit.
But there's the ethics of it. You gotta finish what you started, I think.
Did they, or did the series just get canceled?
Well, but that's the problem.
That show had Gimli in it. Like that show was rad.
Yeah, and Jerry O'Connell and other cast members.
Yep, those are the only two. Like
Yeah.
Jerry O'Connell apparently still doing things. Also, like totally mind-boggling to me.
He's the voice of the Lower Decks captain, is he
Oh
not?
really? I didn't
Oh,
know. That's
God.
funny.
Oh, I hope I'm right.
That show's funny.
I'm looking at James desperately to back me up on this fact.
See, we used to be able to make shows like that because people weren't spending so long eating their burgers.
Oh,
Absolutely
Think
correct.
of the man hours lost.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're good, Kathleen.
Oh, thank God.
I haven't seen you be wrong about a single thing since I've been here. By the way, just a heads up. Like, just proceed with the blazing confidence that you deserve because you haven't been wrong about a single thing since I've gotten here.
I will not remember to do laundry, but I will remember Jerry O'Connell's career because I might be asked that at a trivia contest
Yep.
one day.
Just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case.
No. Imagine at the trivia contest, the guy's like, did you change your load of laundry? I'm like, nobody knows.
Oh, no.
Clue.
I do. That's about like I'll leave the house and be like the stove is still on with the cast iron pan on top of it 100%.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
Like I'll convince myself that that's what's happening.
I have to touch my straightener every time. I have to touch it. I'm like, I see it unplug from the wall, but I just have to have my hand on it so I can. I know that I did that.
You unplug it, and even though it's totally fine, you put it in the sink because that's
Yep.
the least flammable place in your house.
Yep.
Do you ever forget to take your pizza out of the oven?
No,
No? That's
I just
lucky.
leave stuff on the toaster oven. It's on. It's always on. Just leave it on.
I recently forgot to take my pizza out of the oven, which is like so much cleanup and a wasted pizza. And
Did your house
everything,
smell
right?
like pizza?
No, because I also found out that I'd forgotten to put it in the oven. So. so my
So your oven was just on?
Yeah. The pizza was just sitting on the bench still.
One time I was cooking mozzarella sticks, and I actually don't know if I should admit this, but I'm going to because I've already started.
That's the spirit.
I didn't want to do the oven, so I wanted to do the microwave. And on the package, it said cook for 7 minutes in the oven. So I was like, okay. So that just must translate to 7 minutes in the microwave.
Oh no.
And I'm like up in my room on the second floor, and like smoke just comes underneath the door. And I open it up. And it's complete. It smells like burnt cheese. I was saying with my dad at the time, this was, I don't want to tell you how old I was, but I was not a child. And I ran downstairs and they burned into the plate. I had to throw the plate away because it was just black mozzarella sticks.
You enjoy playing The Sims, right?
I do, yeah.
Do you feel like you connect with the characters?
I do, yeah. When
Level,
they
yeah.
just go off on tangents and I look over and they just have a fire in the kitchen and yeah.
That seemed like Sim behavior.
But I like that. I don't like my Sims to have perfect lives. I like there to be
Right.
chaos.
a little interest.
Yeah, a little interesting. So yeah. Don't tell anybody I told you guys that story. That was great.
Absolutely. On the down low.
Thanks.
If you like that story, leave it in the comments below.
No, please don't.
Just kidding.
Tell me I'm not alone. That's what I'll take.
Yeah.
Tell me you did something like that.
Yeah, share
Right?
about how you definitely, absolutely, like everybody's done that.
Everybody, right?
Yeah.
I have on my YouTube channel, I have a disclaimer in the description that says like, hey, if you see a misplay and you really want to point it out, maybe share a misplay that you've made as well. And nobody points out misplays anymore.
Yeah, there you go. I'm brave enough to admit it. I'm being very brave right now.
Which is
Thank you.
Well,
you think the mozzarella could have 4-0'd you?
Yeah, it said it to my face, so I burnt it in the
What
microwave.
What happened the next time you cooked it?
So I get all my anger. I burn it in the microwave for being mean to me.
well, if you've ever enacted revenge on food, I don't know. That's real specific, but let us know. Tell me about it. I might even read it. But that about does it for this episode of Tap Tap Concede. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. This was a very fun and delightful discussion of magic and many other things. And once again, a thank you to our sponsors at cardkingdom.com. Let us know, or let us know that you like us, because I just wanted the ego boost, but also let Card Kingdom know that you like us. You can go to Card Kingdom, and if you make an order, you can say, loading ready run, sent me button please, and they'll send you a button. Or you can use our affiliate code, which is cardkingdom.com/EDSH, like Elder Dragon Social Club, and then they'll know that you also watch that. And if you aren't watching that, we're going to have an episode with Voxy coming up soon at undisclosed editing timeline. So
TBD.
yeah, soon as Matt gets on that. But Matt's working hard on other things, so don't pester him. But yeah, and thank you to all your support on our Patreon. You make this happen, and it's really appreciated. So thank you very much. And that's it for us. Bye, everybody.